All right, hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith here with Nicholas Herboso, our meteorologist as well, and we've had an active day with showers and storms today.
Yes, we have, and it's been hot out there.
I'm pulling that up now.
Yeah, it's been hot out there. We've had rain and storms. We had some flooding around out there, so we're just doing this Facebook Live to get you updated on what's going on out there in our new little different set here, something different format for us. Yeah, so look, here's a look at the radar, and take a look at this. We had a lot of storms in the Panhandle today.
We sure did, and as we take a closer look, I'll bring it up full right now, and you can see what's going on in Greene County right now. Lots of showers and storms there, and also up into Washington County. And Nicholas, you know, this activity continues to drop down from the north, but we think that with the instability starting to wane, that these storms will calm down some in the next hour.
Yeah, and actually during the newscast today, one thing that we were watching very closely, we had all these storms that were over here, and they actually sent out an outflow boundary. Right. And we could see it on the radar, and we were watching that very closely to see if anything fired on that outflow boundary. A lot of people actually saw a shelf cloud today. I know some people, especially down in like Baldwin County and stuff, I saw pictures on social media of the shelf cloud, just a big old wall of clouds moving through. And now you can actually kind of see where it was. You kind of look through Washington County, you see that little area that kind of pulses through there. And that was where that kind of outflow boundary was. And now it's just a little bit more cloudy out there. We had an interesting sunset. We've had an interesting sunset the past couple nights.
We have, and we'll see more of that as we head into the weekend because our rain chances are going to start peeling back a little, and the heat will be more of an issue. I want to pull this up full, and we'll just take a closer look at the local storms we have going on right now. And we are tracking right now here in Greene County and George County some heavier thunderstorms, but they're starting to get less numerous, if that makes sense. So actually south of Leakesville, heavy storm tracking down Old 63 and 63 towards Loosedale. This thing is really rocking here. Washington County seeing a storm there, but not much else going on. Everything else is lightening up. We've got some light showers in southern Clark County and southern and into northern Baldwin County.
Yeah. Looks like there's a stronger storm going into Leakesville. Do we have lightning turned on this? I can't tell.
I can get it turned on here.
Yeah, because I'm curious if this, we've had some thunderstorms embedded in this, but right now just some light thunderstorm shower, or at least heavy rain going into Leakesville, northern Mobile County. If you're watching us, let us know where you're watching from. We can see where stuff is going on. Taking a look at the lightning, you can see a little bit of lightning there in Leakesville with this storm, and it looks like it's been. We've had a little bit of lightning with these storms for the past few hours. We expected some storms to develop over there at some point today, and kind of putting a loop on it, as you can see, just that little bit of lightning pushing through, and actually kind of the motion of the storm as well. These storms are interesting because they're kind of drifting from east to west, and because that's where that outflow was. And now you see this, and then we had multiple directions of storms. So this one's now drifting north to south after the boundary pushed east to west. That little green line you see on the kind of southern part of it there, I'll point this out. So this little green line that you see here pushing out from the storm, that was actually the gust front of it, and it's pushing out this way. So, and that's actually what this storm ended up firing on. So very interesting there for sure to see, you know, something on that radar like that.
And this is getting down towards Rocky Creek Catfish. It's coming down to the south of Leakesville here. It's tracking in that direction. You've got Brushy Creek Road right there at Old 63. So really bearing down on the heart of Leakesville right there at the Chickasawhay River. And this may hold together for a little while longer, but within about the next hour or two, looks like we're gonna have a calmer Friday.
Yeah, and it looks like rain chances tend to drop off in the afternoon, or as we get deeper into the evening hours. I think we're keeping it just maybe the chance of the slightest isolated shower overnight tonight, and then of course they ramp back up again tomorrow, so be ready for that one.
And if you're joining us right now, this is totally new to me and to Nicholas. So we're in a new studio here, and we're actually going out on a lot of different platforms. We're on all of the smart TV apps, and we're out on Facebook Live and YouTube right now. And we're also streaming it on our Fox 10 Gulf stream. So we're covering a lot of bases here, and this is really our first run through with our new system where we're able to command different sources of video. You can see the live shot right now of Mobile. We can take weather computer. We can take this shot here, you see, and you can even see, you know, what's going on. We can look at social media feeds and different things on the internet. So we have total control, but this is a new thing for us. We're just really breaking in this new system this afternoon and this evening. And we've got to talk about the forecast too, because a lot of people have weekend plans this weekend, and probably the biggest issue ultimately is going to be the heat this weekend. And we saw some hotter weather today. We have a heat advisory in effect for the area. You can see that storm still bearing down on Lucedale, but look at this. The heat values for tomorrow are impressive.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for the past couple of days. We had a heat advisory over the day today, and we saw you were showing some of the heat index values on the earlier newscast. I mean, they were in the triple digits, and it's all in this part of the area. So just something to keep in mind if you're in the Mississippi counties. It will be hot. Your rain chances are slightly lower going into the weekend compared to the eastern half of the area. More moisture here on the eastern half of the area, but everybody, it's summertime here on the Gulf Coast, so everybody's going to be hot no matter what. But this is the area where we're dealing with like the actual concerning heat index.
And it's not too unrelated to the heat that they've seen in Texas most of the summer. That upper ridge is to the west, and so that's why the western side of our area is seeing a little bit more heat. Let's look at some of the temperatures that we had across the Gulf Coast today, and definitely looking at some hotter weather across the area. Today's highs getting warmer, and we saw the peak heat index I saw today was around 108 in Pascagoula. So we hit 94 at Mobile Regional Airport. Yeah. That's really toasty there. 94 at Brookley Field and 95 at Brookley Field. Another thing we had going on today besides the heat would be the abundant rainfall that we saw in the area. And this is something that Nicholas touched on Next Weather, which if you haven't caught, that's a really cool show that we have that's also available on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream. And look at some of the rainfall totals today as we look at it there here in Pensacola and also around Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah, so we had, and this is radar estimated, so take this with a grain of salt a little bit. But 4.8 inches radar estimated, kind of near Ensley, kind of that's the 110-10 interchange there in Pensacola. And then Fort Walton Beach also had higher totals. There was street flooding. Now, it wasn't insane street flooding, but there was street flooding in multiple areas. So even we had some street flooding in Bruton. They have got about, I think, I saw one rain gauge picture of somebody that had 4 inches in the rain gauge. So, you know, there were heavy downpours. And I was watching this morning, I think it was NWS Mobile, National Weather Service in Mobile that posted this, the Slidell weather balloon that goes up into the atmosphere.
Right.
It had almost a record in terms of moisture in the atmosphere.
Precipitable water
values. Yes, the precipitable water, which we talked about before, we've been talking about the past few days, the available moisture in the atmosphere for the atmosphere to wring out. It was at like near peak values for this time of year, which that's what we've seen. Whenever it does rain, it absolutely pours.
And look at this as I bring it up full. The western side of the area, Mobile, not really seeing much rain today. So
no rain. No rain today.
Right, it's getting more spotty across the area. And just to give you an idea of what we're expecting in the prediction for tomorrow, here is the futurecast, and we'll run this out real quick and just want to show you that we may start out okay tomorrow morning. I wouldn't be surprised to see some thunderstorms over the Gulf tomorrow morning, but as we work our way into the afternoon tomorrow, showers and storms should fire across the Panhandle and become more numerous over the central part of the area and over the western side of the area. That may help with the heat some, but it'll be late in the day, so it may be too little too late. Predicted heat index values for tomorrow are going to be ranging up around 105 to 110, and we saw this today. It looks like the western side of the area a little hotter. Lucedale at 110, Mobile at 106. So we're definitely looking at hot things going on there. All right, so it is the tropical season, and we want to take a look at what's going on here with a subtropical storm. And this is different. You've probably heard of a subtropical storm before, but you may not know what it is. And this is partially tropical, partially non-tropical. What's going on with Don?
Yeah, and you can kind of see in the satellite presentation, you can just see there's not much to it. In fact, some of the stuff is removed from the center of the storm. That's a typical thing with these subtropical systems. A lot of times the action might be slightly removed from where the center of the storm is. When this storm was forming overnight last night, we were watching very closely to see, okay, where's the low-level center in this thing? You know, where's the spin? And because it was kind of almost subtropical in nature, it had a couple different areas that had spin, and we have the visible satellite just fading, so I can just kind of see a little bit. In fact, we'll take it full real quick. You can just barely see there the light swirl on the first couple frames of that loop, the light swirl exactly where that tropical storm symbol is. That's where the center of the storm is. But notice all of the stuff is off to the east. So just
more comma shape,
more comma
cold
shape.
core, not a fully warm core type system, kind of a hybrid type system. But technically, we have done. Where's it going? Well, let's look at the forecast here, and it's a loop-de-loop thing. But the good news is, it is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, actually, I've been kind of impressed with this forecast. How it's staying. Like, this is the whole forecast gun. This is the whole thing, and it's staying. Not changing in strength almost at all, but there it is, just keeping on going. So it's going to be looping around for a while. It's so weak that like it's really not doing much to add except just ticking off a name for the hurricane season. But that is a name ticked off of the hurricane season.
It is. We're making it through the list. Have already been through 4, and on those warm water temperatures in the Atlantic, we're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Now, taking a look at what's going on in July, where do systems normally form this time of the year? And you can see activity in the Gulf. You can see activity in the Northwest Caribbean Sea. Those are the normal places, the Bahamas to the Western Atlantic. Not normally the Northern Atlantic, really not normally in the Northern Atlantic anytime. But we're starting to get closer to the Cape Verde season. This happened real early this year in June.
Yeah, we had Cindy that was out there, and which one was Brett? Was Brett out there?
I'll go with Brett.
Listen, it's already early in the season. We'll see how long this goes. But, so something interesting, and I talked about this on Next Weather a couple days ago. The water temperatures in this area overall are much higher than average. They're running 3-4 degrees Fahrenheit above average. And actually, the whole entire Atlantic is overall above average. You might have heard of us talking about El Nino. That's typically a thing that reduces tropical activity in the Atlantic. But the water temperature in the Atlantic is just so far above average that there's some question marks about it.
There are, and normally we get the hostile upper level winds with El Nino, and that certainly can be the case as you get closer to the Pacific or closer into the Gulf of Mexico and the western side of the basin.
And that was interesting because in Next Weather we looked at some of those like long-range climate models, and they're not something that we would typically show, but what it did show, looking at those in a great way for us to kind of prepare for what we might be seeing this season, it had this like band of higher than average moisture predicted-ish in this area, kind of in north of the Lesser Antilles there, and in the main development region of the Atlantic, meaning anywhere from the Cape Verde Islands all the way to the Lesser Antilles. So it's just going to be something to watch. And like some people have upped their forecast, some organizations have upped their forecast numbers, but it's just something that we're going to be watching very closely as always.
We just got to hope that the storms out in the Atlantic turn with that trough pattern in the east coast of the United States.
And you know, some people were looking at those charts and being like, okay, maybe will they turn? So it's just going to be a wait and see thing. But right now we have Don out there.
Yeah, just looping around. That's the forecast. And I don't know why we're running back through this graphic again. I'm going to switch off of that. What we need to do now is switch over to our forecast because I know it's the weekend. A lot of people want to know what's happening. And here we are with your weekend outlook, Saturday, tomorrow. Kind of a typical summer day, maybe a little above average storm chance, definitely over the Panhandle. 93 degrees, Sunday at 94. Heat index well above 105, possible both days. And if you think that's hot, check this out. Our temperatures getting up to 96 on Tuesday, 96 on Wednesday, 96 on Thursday, and rain chances only at 20%. So this is a total change to the pattern in comparison to what we've been seeing. It's going to be hotter and drier next week, and you'll probably be wishing that these storms would come back. So you've been a part watching our new Fox 10 Gulf Stream presentation. Meteorologist Michael White.
Kathy said she liked it.
Does she?
Is good.
We're getting some folks chiming in.
You can comment. Come on.
Yeah. So this is something we're going to be doing more of going forward because it's really simple for us to do and bring the weather to you at times where it may not prompt. We may have weather that's not severe enough to break into programming, but we could have some thunderstorms around or some heat, and we may check in from time to time here. Meteorologist Michael White actually did an update on here this morning, so it'll be both a morning thing, a midday thing, and an evening thing, and perhaps a weekend thing this weekend.
Yeah, no, or definitely. Join me this weekend. We'll be in here. We'll be doing some fun stuff in here.
Absolutely, and it'll be an opportunity for things to be a little bit more conversational. Maybe we can break things down about weather in a deeper way than we would normally be able to do on television, because we're not confined to like 3 minutes and that's all you get.
Yes.
This is free flowing, and also we can interact and answer some questions. So thanks for joining us here on our Fox 10 Gulf Stream, and we'll see you back next time.